Hi! Hello! Pantanggal lang ng takot. Galing Resident Evil. Hello guys. Hello. Hello. Resident Evil. Hello. Okay. Let's go. Back to the storyline. Ano ba yung ginawa last time? I have no idea. Okay. Okay. Same. 3 wishes. Navigate. Let's go. The F? Layo ah. Okay, dire-diretso lang natin yung quest. Guys, Konda Village. Hindi mo na ako hihinto for any side quest for this one. Gusto ko lang siya tapusin by today. Then, Call of Duty mamaya-maya. Pag okay na. Kasi kailangan ko nga bully sa Call of Duty ko mamaya eh. Hindi pa ako tapos. Dun sa ano, sa blue versus red. Kailangan kong gawin yun. Kasi pag hindi ko ginawa yun, hindi ko makukuha yung border. Sayang naman, libre na nga yung border. Hindi pa makukuha. Inazuma City tayo. Komore Tea House. Komore. Let's go. Jesus. Yeah, may electroculus dun ah. Okay.
Solidify!
That's your sword.
Lightning flash! Following thunder!
Motion to compel! Breath of the flame!
Yes mo lang.
Incinerate!
Stabilize!
Very
Easy. Easy. Let's go.
into the wind.
Electro Sigil. Not bad. Lock lang natin yan. Hello. Siyempre walang papansin ng ano ko. Stream ko kasi hindi CODM, you know? As usual. Tama naman ako eh. Ha? Naglaro na siya ulit sa YouTube? Kasi may bago na siyang comedy skit. Okay. Saka natin gagawin yung side quest lahat, guys. What is this? What? Kinda weird. Kinda weird. Okay, nag-zoom in. Ano to? Ano yun?
One with nature.
Ano to?
Lightning flash!
Oh, para makuha mo yung Sakura Bloom, kailangan mo yung Lightning Slash. Oh, okay.
The wind knows me.
Hi guys, continue lang natin yung quest, pero purely quest lang to. Yung mission, di bale. Main mission. Wait. Wait. Ano yung nakikita ko? Canria ba yun? Wow! Kita mo yung Canria mula sa Inazuma? Hindi nga, seryoso? Di ba Canria to? Canria, di ba? Ano yan?
This scenery is wonderful.
Ito mo kung saan ako nakatingin.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Sorry guys ah. Nag-discuss lang kami with lore. Lord, patawad. Okay. Here we go.
Time to go.
Time to go, yeah. Of course. Jump.
One with
Oh,
nature.
may treasure chest doon.
Cha-cha!
Sayang.
I'll find the treasure for sure.
Masyado na maraming spoilers, guys, eh. Kasi tinipigilan ko yung sarili kong manood.
The wind knows
Since hindi nga ako yung nag-start ng quest nito, parang nakwento lang sa akin. God, Jesus. No, Jesus.
Napindot ko.
I'll find the treasure for sure.
Ethan, Anilov, Norsho, thank you sa pag-like. Okay.
one with nature.
Shortcut lang talaga ako. Para hindi ko talaga makita yung ibang parts. Kasi gusto kong i-explore soon.
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so... what Paimon means to say is...
Napindot ko.
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it.
Nice one.
Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you think he forgot his promise to meet us?
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey, you're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case in Rito. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you arrived. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier, though it was quite necessary. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you? Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same, but when the lightning struck... Ah, so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is located. But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
The wind knows me. with nature.
This area sure feels gloomy. People probably don't come here often, do they? Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt decree are put into the statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Liyue is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing it for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent Vision Hunt decree, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding each one in this statue. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being, I don't know, selfish?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Napindot ko.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
Aspirations? That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. Alright, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally!
The wind knows me. Time Time to go.
Order guide you.
Lightning flash!
Boom boom!
One with nature.
Incinerate! Keep within the wall.
Stabilize.
Take this! Thunderclap!
Time for your arraignment! Motion to compel!
Lightning flash! Into the wind! The wind knows me.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guest. Miss Kamisato is delighted to finally meet you.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? So, where's she at? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense. She's a super important person after all.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion.
especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, and Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't go! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to be...
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will... Then you have my gratitude.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
Ah, you must also be here. Teijima has protected this place, keeping out the threat, but now we will glad...
I'll be as great as
If you want, it's clear that Teijima had done nothing wrong. And still, I can't claim to, truth be told.
Seems like he's a well-respected... You must be Teijima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? I don't have answers to those questions, because I can't remember anymore. In the past, I knew I wanted to...
Okay. Well, in that But if you... Oh! Maybe if you just try...
Oh, that reminds me.
I keep a diary?
Oh, yes, yes, you do.
Perfect! So if we want to keep...
If you don't mind, we will leave...
This looks like Teijima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have today. The villagers and I got today. I helped rescue a kid who had fallen. I went kite flying today. This, seems like you're... Huh? I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still Now that's the kind of info we're looking for.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryuji.
So this is... interesting. But anyway, if... The soil looks like it's been... Must be something... It looks like... Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? Huh. But he's been here for 30 years. Well, let's go give
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. But I haven't still. It's clear that I was over the years. I must have made a note of anything interesting. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt for her. No, not especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin. I think, although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find, when I think about it like that, how curious. Why am I thinking like this when I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing... okay. But still... It makes Paimon really... Seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were sick. That certainly explains... At least we were able to help. According to Miss... They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. The ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt decree. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it?
You dare to
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are...
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and...
I see. You seem to have come. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he's keeping the provisions for himself.
No one seems to care about us. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the
This must be one of the people Maybe we should talk to Kur...
I've never even heard of these. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. My own family can barely get by as it is. No, if you'll excuse me, that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the...
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree.
To be perfectly honest, I don't. All I know is that I will perform certain things every month. And it's not just.
Does it have to do with the missing
I didn't take any. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoard. If you don't believe me.
Huh. But we better confer. We should be able...
We really outdid ourselves. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot.
You haven't seen anything yet. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey.
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after.
Wind Strider! One with nature!
Picked.
Oh, there goes all the Mora! We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss, think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. Oh, I remember. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with valuables inside. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself, but now that you've caught it...
You've got it.
Huh?
What the...
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah, and they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We better talk to this Miss Aoi. As for you guys, you're free to go.
Yes, so we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it.
The wind knows me. Time to go.
Please speak to President Sangha. I'm just a helper.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the price is increased, couldn't he just buy less?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchased and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, if you're still curious, why don't you go ask... I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so deep...
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Oh, but before you go... Information is... Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about...
At least we now know where the emergency provision... Let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can...
Time to go.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was... All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed, and said to me...
Hey, if you look carefully, can you recognize the words?
Virtue and just somehow those two words seem to taking on seemingly... But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so... And the irony of all of it is... I'm incapable of being a good person. Yet I'm equally unable to be bad.
Yet another trouble. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah. Fortunately for us, you don't... Let's go find the next...
one with nature.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Disciple?
Yep, but then we got...
Please. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. I see you are... Sensei's name is Domo. Though self-taught, he once said that his goal was to become the best, and so... Even while... But then...
Not long ago, he says the strangest things over and over. Junya and I have discussed, but if I'm honest...
The Grand Narukami Shrine?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. Not that we'd have it, so don't worry, Nanako. Since the exorcism will take place this evening.
So...
Time to go.
Shh. Just now, when she asked him it looked like he was in great... All the while he kept... One of them was up. Sensei witnessed the ritual has now begun. Please, excuse...
Huh? Who's that? We won't let them get... Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
Time to go.
Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be...
How did you catch up with me so quickly? Are you sure you're Domon's unless...
Excuse me? And what are you doing sneaking around?
Bad news? I'll have you know, I don't care to talk about that time.
His senior?
Anzai? Yes, that's because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else's. When we were young, we trained. I had begun practitioners, but Domon, Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such. I thought so too at the time. But Domon, only then did I. He was consumed by his singular desire.
Sure sound...
Because until he arrived, of all the disciples, Domon's arrival changed everything. When we later, after that I wanted nothing further to do with. So, I decided to... So you see... Okay, you've heard my story.
Still...
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's...
Nanako?
I'm sorry, with what powers I have, but spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, and all is certain...
Lady Yai? Is that...
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine?
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit...
Excuse me.
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady, I must leave now. but we will meet soon at the...
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken note?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to...
No, that's not what I meant. I just mean this is Lady Yai. Anyway, given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei.
Sure! Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two.
Time to go. Following thunder! Take this!
Another bad one?
Do you think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junyo is so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yi, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yi, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yi, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the sword master is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands, and only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. My
poor sensei.
I'm sorry, Father.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that did he follow us the whole...
Ansai, you're here for revenge, aren't you?
You're right to assume. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. I don't think most of the people you beat along... Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you, but that is no reason to strip them.
But what if one day I put everything I had into... If there's a chance...
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you, I can't know whether I will suffer. I want to keep going.
Nanako's far from the only one.
Goodness.
You see? Being stripped of your ambition is something. So, you are not in the same position.
I'm sorry to have made you... I no longer have the... But as your sensei, this is my promise.
You can count on that. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong there. Well...
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf.
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yi has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yi, she seems super mysterious. We can come back to it another...
Protection of the Electro-Argon. May the...
Lightning flash!
must have fulfilled all your wishes. Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
Huh? Huh?
Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our 3 friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, it seems like there's no way to really help them. Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the 3 things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma also.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen? Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the... But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your... You will? Really? Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komore Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the Yashiro Commission.
Wait, kanina pa pala ako naka-mute?
Well, here we are again.
Jeez, kanina pa ako naka-mute. What the heck? Salita ako ng salita. Oh my god. Kanina pa ako nagsasalita. Kanina pa pala ako naka-mute.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
Okay. Sorry guys, kanina pa pala ako naka-mute.
What's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Thank you, Cherry Climaco, Not Lava Noward Santos sa pag-like. Chi Gaming
Once the
Hello,
number of
happy streaming,
ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only
makes sense. Perfect.
In any case, we can talk freely here. The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on, but only if she inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a... It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me... The issue is this. After all, it is because of this...
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless...
Resistance? You mean like...
Yes. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there was... But I do wonder whether there may be... Of course! We have tried on... They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt decree.
I have no further questions.
Oh? Well,
Have you got a plan yet?
to be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is...
So...
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try... For example, by
You're telling Pine...
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. The problem we are facing...
Darn!
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term... Exactly. I feel the same way. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka.
Okay. Nagamonohara. Na 1 hour na pala ako with Genshin. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry kung biglang nawala yung voice. Dapat nagsasalita ako kanina pa. So, ayun. Thank you guys again. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Continue natin to. Okay? Bye guys! Bye! See you later!